All right, you guys, it is New Year's Eve and I just finished planting here in Shepherd Park with my friend Peter, and it's going to be a New Year's tradition. I think it's been decided by me officially. He's the one behind the camera, and he's also the one that donated a lot of the trees we planted. So we just finished planting 4 loquat trees, 4 pecan trees, 2 mulberry trees, and a Jerusalem thorn, a palo verde. And they're spread out all over the park. The whole reason this is possible is because I have resources. So over here is Durham Elementary, and this is where my school garden is. This is also a school where I had aunts and uncles go as kids, so it's a nice old school, and I probably showed you some of it. But the reason we were able to plant so much is because I have soil and mulch right over there through the gate, and have keys to the gate and everything. So that's a big part of why this was possible, such a big planting effort. And also good to know Spanish, because that's how I got the soil and the mulch, talking to the guys doing some digging. But essentially, I'm just anarchist little guerrilla planting, going to turn this park into food forest of sorts. So I have some persimmon trees in my garden that need a new home. I have other fruit trees, it just happens that they need a home, and so I'd like to keep, inserting them into this garden, into this park, into this space. And so yeah, this project has been fun. We saw some kids from my garden classes, and you can see, there's a beautiful pecan tree right here. That's one of the pecans, and there's a loquat over by that trash can. That and they're just, I'm excited because they really are gonna take off and do well, and as long as they don't get cut down by a human, they're gonna be okay. But I was inspired from all the planting and the fun of putting trees in the ground to talk to you guys a little bit about the plight of the commons, because that's a concept that I really feel like that I want to address as it's misunderstood, I guess, in a way, and it's stewardship of the land was a good term to think of as well. So what we hi, welcome back. what we currently have is this belief that the commons are inevitably going to become a waste space, this blighted ground that everybody dumps their trash and and treats poorly. That's the idea of the plight of the commons. And behind that is a misunderstanding or lack of understanding of the role of possession in relationship. So what happens with the commons is that no one takes possession as far as the relationship goes. No one really owns that space, and because no one takes possession of the relationship with that land or that space, it's treated poorly. There's no relationship to have. And really the biggest factor in blocking people from taking possession is that government has taken possession. So it's blocking people from doing like what we did today. What we did today was all without permission. It was all probably illegal, so I'm incriminating myself. And good thing I didn't give Peter's last name. You're safe. So you have blocking of possession because you have an institution that has claimed possession and ownership and control of the space. Now, when it comes to commons, possession is something that cannot be singular, because that's the whole role of a public space, of a common space. So like, I'm taking possession of it. Awesome. So I'm taking possession as in taking an interest in its care, in what it becomes, wanting to create more fruit trees for the kids in the park and the students, but not taking possession in the way we see possession, because the current way we see possession is very monopolistic. It's essentially that possession. Oh, that's awesome. Pause. Sorry, I got distracted, but had a great connection and conversation. So what I'm talking about is that possession does not have to be in the current way we see possession. It doesn't have to be a monopolistic control. You can take possession of something without having complete control over what it is or what it does or what it becomes. And so when I say I'm taking possession of these plants in the park, it means I'm taking like a part of my heart and tying it to them, and I'm going to connect to them and be aware of them and nurture them as if it was my own. I'm going to nurture this space as if it was my own. But I also at the same time am recognizing that there's 100 other people in the immediate community that all also have possession to varying degrees of this space. Maybe they have a possession of it in that they really you know, enjoy bringing their kids there and they love the park, and that's a feeling of connection that in turn connects to how they want to care for it and what they want to give to it. And so that's what I think we have to shift. We have to shift possession away from just meaning this is mine and I decide exactly what happens to it, complete, you know, authoritarian control, to a possession that instead just means this is mine. I take it on as myself, as something that I'm going to care and nurture for and for its best interests. And so that's how we can shift the commons. So we have to overcome the impediment of the belief in government, you know, in authority. We have to overcome the belief that somebody else owns this space and is legitimized in telling us not to do things in the space. But that stewardship, that reconnection is so important. So it's like not just a reconnection with a park like this one, but I'm talking about a reconnection with nature, a reconnection with all these living things around, reconnection with the world around us. There's so much importance in reconnecting, and possession is a form of that. So that's how we're gonna overcome the plight of the commons, mainly as, you know, wanting to address on that subject, but wanting to share the fun of planting fruit trees, and hopefully it inspires you to go out and plant a tree. I have other friends that do guerrilla planting as well in parks and public spaces, and it is a very fulfilling pastime. I encourage you to do it, and maybe if, you know, maybe it'll be a New Year's Day tradition, but if this video gets up in time, you can start a tradition of your own for planting trees. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.